Welcome to WAVE 101 Lesson 11. Today Denise is going to talk about what do you want for your life? And we're going to go over the first example of 4-step Bible study. Here's Denise.
So how can we find our desire for God? God gives us this desire for Him, but it can tend to get suppressed or buried. And if it does, how do we find it? Well, I'll tell you how I did that. My desire got a bit buried, and so I thought about the following 7 questions for a few months. It took a while, but my desire emerged again. And so let's go over the 7 questions. And the first one is, do I want to know God? Think about that. How do I want my life to be? Do you want your life to just be more horizontal, all family and friends, or do you want some vertical aspect? Do you want a spiritual connection with God? Do I want to do His will for my life? Do I want to please God? Do I want to know His heart and what He cares about? And would I prefer my independence over His will and way? All of these might change my priorities. What do I really want? This is not a dress rehearsal. This is your life. What do you really want when you get this one shot through? So answering these questions is part of your assignment this week. And you want to be really honest as you go through the questions and notice your hesitations. Notice your reactions. This is like taking your spiritual temperature. So you don't have to tell anyone, how you hesitated on this question or that question, but if you did, you would find out you're not alone. It's just part of the human condition. So the point is, though, to notice where you're hesitating. Notice which questions give you more trouble because it's valuable information. If you find that your Christian walk is uneven, where you sputter along, you put the gas on and then you put the brake on and you're not sure why, this kind of answering these questions, seeing where you're having trouble, can give you information that might clear that up. Because number 7, answering honestly helps you see where you are spiritually. And if you answer these questions squarely, answer your hesitations squarely and think about that, then you will get the information that you need to address them so that you can put your foot on the gas and keep going in your walk instead of just always, being uneven. So, number 8, facing your hesitations helps you know where to put your effort. God's blessings on you.
In previous lessons, we've gone over all 4 steps in devotional Bible study. Now it's time for the first example. Our example is coming from Psalm 124 and verse 8. Let me read it from the New American Standard Bible. Our help is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth. I would encourage you to make use of these 4 steps in your own Bible study. Either in the passages you come across, or if you're interested in comparing what you come up with what we come up with, you could pause when the video pauses, when the video gives you a chance to pause, and write down your 4 steps, what you're seeing in the passage, in the lessons, and so on, and then go on and compare them with what we come up with. You don't have to come up with the same thing at all. It's very flexible, and it depends on where you're at in your life. But it might give you some reinforcement to help you solidify this skill. Okay, let's look at the first phrase of this verse. Our help is in the name of the Lord. That first part, our help, what do you see there? What the facts? So when he just says our help, well, he's talking about our help. He's talking about something about our help. Okay, there's a fact. Let's go on to the rest of that phrase. Our help is in the name of the Lord. Okay, you could just say, our help is in the Lord. Our help comes from the Lord. Something like that. The name of the Lord, you could explore some. At this point, I think I'm just going to simplify that phrase and say, when you think about your help, it comes from God. Let's go on. The last phrase, who made heaven and earth. God made heaven and earth. There is a fact. Isn't it amazing? We receive help from the one who could materialize all of this we see and all we don't see just by speaking the word. That's the one who helps us. Okay, those are facts. Now let's look at lessons. The question is, what can you learn from this passage? And the first hint we gave you about looking for a lesson was look for what is unusual to you in the passage. Here in this passage, it has two parts, basically. Our help is in the name of the Lord, and He's the one that created heaven and earth. Our help comes from the Lord. He is the one who created heaven and earth. The thing that's most unusual to me is our help comes from God. So that's where I would go for a lesson. I would phrase the lesson like this. God is the one that provides the help. It looks like our loved ones provide the help, or a great opportunity is what provides the help. But this verse says, our help is in the Lord. The Lord provides the help. Phrasing that into a question for step 3 that challenges me, I could say, do I recognize that all my help is coming from God? That challenges me. It seems like it's coming from these other sources. So when I sit back and think about that lesson, and when I think about, do I realize God is the one behind all the help I receive? My response back to God in step 4 is to thank Him. Father, thank you for being so strong to create the entire universe and being the one behind all the help I receive. Help me to see everything that helps me is ultimately coming from you. So there are the 4 steps in this passage. Next time, what I'd like to do is give you an assignment for next time where you actually get out pen and paper and make sure not miss this. The assignment is to go through Hebrews chapter 11, verses 8 through 11, and go over these 4 steps and study that passage. Next time, we'll go over that passage and you can compare what you came up with. Let me read this to you. Hebrews chapter 11, verses 8 through 11. I'm reading from the New American Standard. By faith, Abraham, when he was called, obeyed, by going out to a place which he was to receive for an inheritance. And he went out, not knowing where he was going. By faith he lived as an alien in the land of promise, as in a foreign land, dwelling in tents with Isaac and Jacob, fellow heirs of the same promise. For he was looking for the city which has foundations, whose architect and builder is God. By faith, even Sarah herself received ability to conceive, even beyond the proper time of life, since she considered him faithful who had promised. This is the passage for next time. Take a look at this passage and surface the facts, then surface what you can learn about it. Then take whatever lessons you've written down, things you can learn, turn those into questions that challenge you. Then sit back and listen for what God might be telling you through this passage and respond back to him. Next time, Denise is going to be talking about, she's going to be wrapping up Surfacing Your Desire. And we're going to go over this assignment, which is actually the second example of 4-step Bible study. Until then, Lord bless you.